right. So I wanted to give you a view of my surrounding, where I'm filming from today, in case I don't get to load all the rest of the stuff that I filmed. I at least wanted you to see where I'm coming from. So I'm coming from the beautiful Blue Lakes. Hi guys, I'm Donette. I'm always here talking about repatriation, and I'm filming from Guyana. And this is the beautiful Blue Lakes in Linden, Guyana. And I am hoping that these flies that are pestering me, it seems like it's fly season or something, right? Allows me to be great at what I'm doing. What I'm about to do. So, a couple of things. I feel things that I feel good about, things that still needs some improvement. Um, I definitely feel good because the now Mona Lisa building is at least 80% completed. So I feel good about that. And I also feel good that more and more people are beginning to know about the bistro and lounge, and more people are asking about the Airbnb portion of my business. I also am, beginning to plan, more weddings and birthdays and so on. So I feel good about those things. Things I don't feel good about, contractors who don't follow through, contractors who give you a price knowing that, their price actually doesn't cover all the work, but they give it to you in pieces rather than telling you the entirety of the cost. People who just don't stay true to showing up to work when they're supposed to, people who will quit on you because they feel like quitting. They just don't show up, and these are people you can treat them to the best. You can, give them the best pay rate in the city, and it doesn't even matter if they don't feel like showing up because it's a Wednesday morning and they don't feel like showing up. They just don't. If they don't feel like showing up because they don't, they didn't like how you reacted one day for whatever reason, which is usually a legitimate reason, they won't show up. um, and I'm really, really cool with dealing with people. I really do treat people well. And so when it comes down to my contractors, I'm also no holds bar kind of person who don't really hide my feelings. I would tell you when I feel, if I feel like you're doing something wrong or if I need improvement or something like that. And I think in, things that I don't feel good about is that here in Guyana in particular, they don't know how to tell you the truth. I swear they lie about everything. And, and that brings kind of like a little bit of cultural animosity between myself in particular and workers, because where I'm from, where I'm accustomed to doing business, it's cut and dry. You say what you're supposed to say to the person, whomever you're dealing with. If something isn't right, you let them know up front. You're not afraid to speak up. I'm looking around because I keep hearing sounds and I'm not sure where they're coming from. You're not afraid to speak up. You just say what you have to say, you get it over with, and you move on to other business. It doesn't mean you and the person are enemies. It just means that you've got business to do and you want to make sure that you get it done right. People here are very petty, they take things very personal. They will hold things against you even if you didn't say it. If they feel this way and they think this way and they thought that way, they'll hold it against you, and you probably don't even know what they're mad about, but they won't show up. For example, just recently we had a young man painting the building. Well, two examples. A young man painting the building, and him and the other guy who he's painting with actually got into some sort of disagreement, which, and I didn't even know that until like 2 weeks later. We were talking about why he never showed back up. So the young man who is at the, location at the time when we're saying this said, "Oh, me and so got into it, and he tried to say this and that about me or whatever it is." And before you know it, he he's explaining the situation, and I'm thinking, well, what does that have to do with us, and what does that have to do with coming to work? Like, there isn't that value in working. And and I'm assuming that there is a link. I'm sure if we put the when you look at studies, it shows that people feel more appreciated when you not only through pay, but definitely because you compliment them, because you value their work. And in particular, because you value their work and you compliment them, people feel good about it. And then the second part of that is making sure that people are paid what they're supposed to be paid, that which is one of the reasons why I always pay my workers well, because I want them to do good work and I want them to show up. But that doesn't matter in this city. They will just take off, just like this guy. He just took off, like he and just didn't come back. Another example, guy, he's passing by one day. He wanted some work. We don't just hire people off the bat because we don't know who people are. So usually they come by recommendation through someone else. And what we found out, as you can see, these flies are all over and I am irritated. Right? Yeah, so I don't know what they're coming for, because I washed the glass. I had some cocktail, I washed it out already. It's empty, and I had it in this little floss here, right? And to keep it cool, and I washed that too, so there's nothing here. I don't know what they're after. Anyway, it must be me. They must like me or something. Anyway, so what eventually happened was that he just didn't show back up to work. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, I mixed that story up. Okay, so he didn't. The other guy didn't show up back to work, but with the other guy, so he's walking by, and he asked for some work. And again, we don't hire people just like that. So the other folks that are there working with us said, oh yeah, this guy's really good. He's been to Trinidad, he's worked there over time, and he does excellent work. He comes, I asked him for a price. He gave me a price. I said, nah, that's too much, bro. Let's cut that down a little. So anyway, he came and he did one room, plastered. This is plastering. He plastered one of the Airbnb rooms, and we loved his work. We loved his work. So now, and of course I didn't want to pay him what he wanted because I didn't know his work. I mean, yeah, people will say this and that, but in these neck of the woods, people say all sort of stuff. So you gotta see with your own eyes before you believe it. All right, and that's one of the things that I would say. Don't just listen to what people have to say about something. Just go after seeing that work yourself, seeing what people do yourself, and making sure that you draw a good conclusion or an analysis based on what it is that they put out. Right. So when he was done, I mean, the guy's work looked absolutely meticulous. Like, it was just really, really good work. So now I want to keep him because I'm like, okay, I can pay him the right price for the next room. But then he leaves, and he leaves I think he left a slipper or whatever. So I assume he's gonna come back to get his slipper at least. Dude left, doesn't show up back, keep passing by the place, doesn't even stop, don't say a word. And he told me up and down, because I verified with him, because they have a way where they play with words here. So he said, oh, I'm gonna come Saturday. And I'm like, okay, so Saturday it is. I'm like, okay. So I was like, oh well, I have to get the materials in, so maybe Monday is a better day. Oh, Monday, you mean? Yeah, so maybe 2 Mondays from now. So I said, no, this coming Monday, right? And I'm like, where did he get 2 Mondays from now? But anyway, I'm not thinking anything, but I'm very particular with how I choose my words here, because with contractors and doing business, because they will say things and then try to make you think that you said something wrong, and then mix everything up and then try to come back with a lie. So I always verify. I'm like, no, I said that before he left, because he tried to say something about 2 Mondays again, and I was like, listen, I said this Monday, or can you come Monday? Come in Monday, can you come? Yeah, I can come Monday. I said, this Monday coming, can you come? Yes. Anyway, dude left, never showed back up. Anyway, like, about the work continued either way, because I'm gonna, your girl is gonna find some contractor somewhere to get my things done, because I've been here long enough to know pretty good contractors. So I just got somebody else to do the other part, the other room. So, and it came out just as good. But anyway, he comes back about 6 or 7 weeks later. We've been seeing him pass by all the time, by the way. Not me, but my husband, because he knows people well. I'm one of those people. If I see you one time and I see you again, I probably won't remember you unless you are, in my personal space and you say something to me. But he saw him, and he up and down the back road, and he comes back and he lies to us and says, oh, I had to go into the interior to get some work done, blah 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 blah. All the while he's lying his butt off, because he did not had to go anywhere, because we saw him passing by up and down. And it is what it is. But that's just to give you an example of what the games that people play in this place. They play some silly games, and very immature, and it takes your time, your energy, your money. If you don't watch it, you will end up arguing back and forth, just being upset or whatever. But I just laugh it off and I keep moving. I figure, listen, if I see you don't show up on Monday, by Monday I'm gonna text you, hey, did you get? And I didn't have a number for him, so I'm like, okay, give him a chance to come, maybe Tuesday. Tuesday come, he doesn't show again. By then, by Tuesday, by noon, I'm already on the money trying to get someone for Wednesday morning. And it always works out. So anyway, that's just the way I've gotten things done here. All right, so moving on from that, with all the ups and downs, a lot of money being spent to finish up projects, to get things done. Um, this project is so costly, and that's because, I came in with one idea and then end up doing a whole lot more than I thought that I would. And of course, those extra parts to the project cost a lot of money. One thing that I did for sure is that I added the other building. That's a smaller building, the pergola. I added that one because I needed more space for people to dine. Because I realized that the rain was too much downstairs. Now, even with the pergola, it's still open. So if it starts raining, you have to close it off, right? So I have usually I have some sort of coverage on it, but I pulled it off recently because it hasn't been raining. Um, Pulled it off a few months ago because it hasn't been raining like that. So anyway, and if the rain do come, I just let it, wash it down, and I wipe it up or whatever. So with that said, so there's that addition to it. Then I added, the restroom outside. Then I added, then I redid the entire courtyard downstairs. Then I added, oh my God, I raised the fence because of security purposes. And these are all things that, even though you should have thought of it in advance, you kind of wish that, those things didn't have to be done right away. But once, breakage start, you want to move on that quickly. You don't want to be a victim. So you end up, are a victim again. So you end up, rushing to do that part of the project. So raising the fence was extremely important to me. So I went ahead and I did that. Then we realized that, okay, the even downstairs courtyard doesn't work during the rain. So we ended up coming up. My husband came up with the idea for the deck, and that deck has cost us some money as well. Pretty good lump sum of money. So he came up with that idea, but then he wanted something smaller. But of course, your girl is kind of extra, and so I ended up having, building this 40 by 20 structure, or 42 by 20, because it ended up being bigger, and in wood as well. Upstairs is wood. The zinc is 22 feet long, so of course that costs money. And then we also have all the materials for that building came up to a pretty good lump sum. And of course, I have all the receipts to share with you guys. And eventually, I'll get there. I've been very bad at sharing receipts and sharing what it is that I pay for things. All right, but anyway, a pretty good lump sum of money that came out for the wood. And then of course you had to enclose the downstairs, because we came up with Why leave the downstairs empty? We can utilize it for space. Airbnb would be good. Classroom training would be good downstairs as well. Some sort of training classroom would be good downstairs. So we came up with those ideas. And then we came up with, okay, well, you know what? Instead of doing our part and rushing to do our part right now, which is at the back of the building, we can just go ahead and stay in one of the Airbnb rooms because it's almost completed. So that room still needs like a washroom. Well, the washroom is built, but it still needs to install the toilet and the shower inside. So we've been using the outside, I mean the toilet in the building. Um, in the lounge. So and the shower is, it is what it is. The shower is in the back of the building. So I've just been taking baths there. Which is what, the things that you do when you're trying to, when you're looking at progress, right? So you don't really worry about the convenience of things anymore because you know that there's going to come a time when everything is going to work out and everything is going to be organized and everything is going to be all nice and pretty the way you want it to. But in the meantime, you spend your days with, sandy feet and, dusty pants and dusty t-shirts, and you spend your day, there are people on top of the hill. I don't know if you can see them in the background. So yeah, lots of people come out to take pictures and so on, right? So you spend your days just building and lots of cement on your feet and lots of cement and all over the place because you're always cleaning up after contractors and so on. So you honestly, you don't worry about the beautiful part just yet. The fact that the lounge remains pristine is very good because I put a lot of work into cleaning it, making it very pretty, and that's something that I don't want to lose. But in terms of my own self and trying to take care of, like my own needs right now, like I need a new hairstyle. I need look at my fingers. Look at this. Look at this. This is crazy, right? Yeah, it is what it is. This is part of the tough work. I can't get my fingers done right now because it's so thin. It's been thinned out by the acrylic that I put on it. So I am not gonna put any nails on it until whenever it gets better, it heals, and I can see that my nails are growing back and all that stuff. Because the last thing I need to do is get an infection in my fingers because I'm overdoing it with the need for nails constantly. Anyway, and today I got some work done on it. Well, I did some work on it to try to alleviate all the extra skin and everything else on my, just to let it grow healthy again. But anyway, I got work to do on these nails. But anyway, you don't worry about the beautiful part just yet anymore. That's what I realized. I realized that I need to focus on building, and building is far way important. These Guyanese fly are a pest. What is up with that? What is up with these flies? What is up with these flies? Go back where you came from. Okay, so anyway, yep. So there go my beach hat. Yep. Yeah. So I am in this space where I just wanted to, to just relax and not worry about things so much. But my husband came and he's a worrier and he worries about everything. So he wants to get me into worrying, and I'm not good at worrying. So, I'm just the one to just want to relax and do something. This is why I'm at the beach today, right? This is why I'm at the beach, because I just want to be able to just relax myself and have a little moment to, I guess, reflect on things a lot more. All right, so the next phase that I'm looking at is, now that we've got the upstairs, when you think it's all over, things that I don't like, oh my God. So now we spend all this money on this letterette thinking that that's going to provide coverage, and it's not going to do it. The building is very high, the wind is extremely heavy, and that thing will rip those letterettes apart eventually. So now we just called the guy back to do some analysis on what we need to do. So I'm happy to update you on that part. But my taxi is here, so I'm gonna go right now, and we will talk soon. All right? Bye bye, guys. I'll update you on what I'm doing with the upstairs to bring it up, the sidings up a little bit more, put windows on it. It's gonna cause a harm in the leg, so I'm looking forward to getting it done though. Bye bye. See my taxi in the background?